Hi, and welcome to the Spiritist Society of Melbourne. We are a group of Spiritists who study the spiritualist philosophy Spiritism and come every Tuesday night to share our understanding to specific topics under the lens of Spiritism. My name is Thiago Comitri, and I'm a volunteer with this group. Tonight, I'm going to share my understanding to the topic, The Love I Have is the Love I Give. I'm a student of this philosophy, and what I will expose here is my understanding to this topic, and also my own opinion, which might be different from other members of this group, as well as from other students of this philosophy. In the Gospel according to Spiritism, in the chapter 11, item 8, we have, at the starting point, man only had instincts. After some advancement and the onset of corruption, he has sensations. But when he becomes instructed and more purified, he has sentiments. The most delicate apex of sentiment is love, not the vulgar sense of the word, but that inner sun. Do we, and when I say we, I mean humankind, know what is love? The true love, the most delicate apex of sentiments, as this text says here. I don't think so. So it says about instincts, then sensations, and then sentiments. And love being the delicate apex of sentiment. Everything is a derivation of love then, right? Everything that is good is under love. So that's why, in my understanding, we don't know that entirely. But okay, but I love my parents, my children, my partner. So in my understanding, this love is more like sensations than the pure sentiment. We do have a good feeling, as it says here, the inner sun. We do have good feeling that comes from inside of us, that feeling about close friends, same for our family, but that should be with everyone. Imagine this sentiment being with everyone in this world. That's why I think we don't understand this fully, But this is normal. This is the stage where we are. So my presentation tonight will be based in this book, Changing Attitudes, written by a medium named Francisco do Espírito Santo Neto, dictated by the Spirit named Hamed. And as the title says, by changing our attitudes, it proposes to see life, to perceive life from a different perspective. And based on the Spirit's book as well, which contains the principles of Spiritism, according to the teachings of spirits of high order degree, transmitted through many mediums around the world, then received, coordinated and codified by Allan Kardec. Also, the Gospel according to Spiritism, which contains the explanation of the moral maxims of Christ in concordance with Spiritism and their applications to the different circumstances of life. So, Spiritism, this spiritualist philosophy, tells us that we are individuals with the main objective of progressing spiritually towards perfection, and at the same time being co-creators. When it says individuals, it means that, as they say, and they reveals this in the books, that we are spirits. So we have been created by a supreme intelligence that governs the world, the entire universe. And we are unique in the whole universe. Kind of, we have an ID. We build our own identity, then it makes us unique in the whole universe. So because we are building this individuality and we need to reach perfection, we cannot achieve that in a single life. Like, I cannot achieve perfection with the current life I'm living now. So we then understand that it must have several lives, actually many millions of lives, because we need to experience all the hardships that this corporeal life provides us or proposes to go through, to then we manage each situation, to learn, to share this life with other people, and then we have different situations, and then that will help our spirit to grow morally and intellectually. Intellectually, because we need to work, we need to study, we need to develop this intellectual side. And morally, because of the relationships we have with others. So the path is individual because we are individuals. The path is unique. But to achieve that perfection, we share our lives with others. And by sharing our life with others and sharing our experience and other people sharing their experience, that helps everyone. That's how we are contributing with the evolution of everyone. So that's how we can play this role of being co-creator. Okay, so the concept of reincarnation, very well explained by this philosophy, helps us to see this big picture, and at least for me, to understand the whole process and how things work, and took in my mind to see this entire journey of evolution. And this totally makes sense to me. So we continue after death. That's what this philosophy says, and that's what I understand. So we need to continue progressing. So death is just a comma in this journey, not a full stop. So with this concept in mind of we are being individuals, spirits that continues after life, we are in continuous progress, right, through many existence, physical existence, many lives, and being co-creators with the concept of reincarnation in mind. Let's continue with the main topic. We only give what we have. Since we are intelligent beings progressing, as I've said, towards perfection, right? We are not perfect yet. And because we're not perfect, we need to work in ourselves, because at each incarnation, let's say each existence, we need to develop a little bit more ourselves, right? So everyone is in the same boat. Everyone is here. Everyone's here to evolve a little bit, to advance a little bit in their own journey. How can we demand love from someone who still doesn't know how to love? We know a little bit, or we know about love in our own way, but other people may not understand love as we do, and they have their own way to understand that. And things that is right for me could be wrong for that person, and vice versa, right? It depends on the background we have, the education we had, the moral knowledge we have. But because of that, again, the question, how can we demand from others, not only love, love is the main topic here, but how can we demand anything? How can we demand respect and consideration from creatures who haven't reached the delicate point of loving feelings? So we all are learning at its existence more about life and about love, which is the delicate apex of sentiment, right? So if we all are trying to understand these sentiments, I understand that we have sensations at the moment. To reach the sentiment is a long way yet, because to extend that feeling to everyone, to love everyone, no one should demand from us, as we also should not demand from others. We only give what we have. So how can we demand anything from others if we have no idea of at which level that spirit is? Hamed says in his book, the ones who give affection have the happiness to see what they gave being multiplied, but we can only give according to what we have at the moment of donation. If we're not kind, not gentle, and we know it, this is a good point, in my point of view, because we start to change ourselves depends exactly from this behavior of knowing ourselves. So we need first to get to know who we are and identify the improvement points we need, and then start changing. When we accept all this imperfection in ourselves, we start changing naturally, because we understand that we are like that. And then naturally we change. And by changing, we can become naturally kind, gentle, more humble. And then everything of those good behaviors or good profiles are under that sentiment of love. So, as I said, there are evolution diversities in the planet. As I said before, we are individuals progressing. So everyone in our family unit, in our workplace, in our university, if you are studying, but everywhere, everyone in this planet, we are in different levels of evolution. Some things are easy for me to manage to go through, but for my wife, probably could be different, could be hard for her. So I need to respect, and I can, if she asks me an advice, I can help, give my advice, what I would do if I was in her shoes. But that's just how we could help, sharing experience and our thoughts. Because we are in different level of evolution. Respect is the minimum we should have with each other. So, Hamed brings us then. There are evolution diversities in the planet. Men who have barely left primitivism go about in modern society practicing the first steps for natural instincts that eventually leads to a loving sensitivity. Everyone has the right to have an opportunity to advance in their journey. Imagine yourself as a less evolved spirit, designed to advance. You would like to have an opportunity among the more evolved spirits, so that you could learn with that people, with those spirits, right? For example, when we are in our workplace, that we want to be close to those who knows more than us, so that we can learn from that person. So we feel, if we are a less evolved spirit and we want to evolve to advance, we want to be among advanced spirits, then we can learn with their experience. So I'm going through some difficulties, some problems, as everyone have those difficulties and problems in life. And that's our trials we have to go through, because it's only going through those trials, those difficulties, that we can evolve, we can learn. But everything depends on how you manage and you handle that, remembering that we are sharing this life with other people. So developing our love is the key for us to be a winner at the end. Let's say, let's put it this way. So it's normal then we still seeing those who are very kind, very humble, and we also see those who are very cruel, very proud in everything they do, different level evolutions. It's hard sometimes for us to accept, to understand, and to forgive people for what they have done to us. But everyone is still learning something. And the journey, the way to achieve perfection is very long. So Hamed brings us examples of a brief relation of behavioral symptoms that show in creatures, making them confuse between the kind of love that sets them free and wishes others good things, and egoistic attraction that takes them over and involves mere desire. There are individuals who, in order to conquer others and convince them about their skills and values, keep showing off, trying to persuade themselves to, thinking it's necessary to be important in society in order to love and satisfy the expectations of the ones who might either accept or to refuse them. You know someone who acts like that, right? So someone who wants to be superior, or who try to convince you that that is the right person, that he or she is good for something, or good in doing something. So they want to show sometimes what they are not, just to be accepted sometimes, to feel part of a group, just to be loved somehow. And even for thinking that a group of friends will think that, oh, they're cool, let's call him because he seems cool. But actually sometimes those people is just playing a role that they are not like that. And they, as Hamed says, they try to conceive even themselves. Others try to love by buying people, omitting and denying their needs and existence goals, abandoning everything that is valuable and intimate for them, and then, after leaving all their wishes behind, lose meaning of their own lives and their relationships in a disastrous manner. So we see in the news sometimes with celebrities that some people just got married because of money, or just of business interest. Where is the love? There is there is no way to support each other. The relationship just breaks up. We can see sometimes there is true love between. It's hard to understand because of our, maybe because of our eyes. Let's put it this way. But sometimes an elder person and a very young person living together, and you see there is some interest there, that that relationship. Sometimes no, sometimes it's pure love, but we don't know and should not judge. But they know what's happening there. If it's pure interest, if someone is trying to buy another, and even with the kids, when a couple just separate, divorced, and one of the parents try to buy the kid to stay more with that parent, and buy video games and buy everything that kid loves. It's a way to buy that kid, to buy that person, to stay close, thinking that person will love you because you are giving gifts, you are giving things to them, then that person will love you more. A lot of parents does that. Those parents will never be anything else than their parents. They will always be their parents. They don't need to concern about that. Some delegate the control of themselves to others, losing their sense of dignity, a vital component to happiness. It's not surprising to see that these people are always empty and tortured because they became nothing when they let this happen. So I met a person who every relationship she had, which lasts for maximum 3 years, she just live her partner's life. So everything that he wanna do, she just, yeah, let's do that. And she didn't have any voice in that relationship. She didn't have ill. So everything was related to what he wants. And that's not only with that relationship. I could see that with many relationships of her. So where is the issue then? Why she permits that? Why she gives someone else to control her life? Oh, will you do this next week? Okay, let's do. And then when she just breaks out this relationship, she's very frustrated for the time she was in that relationship. I didn't do anything that I wanted. Okay, but what do you want? So it's hard for some people to see the situation because they just let themselves to be involved in that. And it's hard to see from outside. They are fully involved. And that's maybe just a way to escape from something inside and thinking that the person, instead of buying as the previous example, but doing everything for the other person and leaving the person decides everything for me. In the case here, I'm giving the control, just allowing the other people to decide, that person will continue loving me, or that person will take care of me, or, so it's not this way. You should control your life because the path to progress is individual. What are you doing of your life? How are you progressing? What are you changing yourself? That's what is important. So many others use lie, cover realities, and hide their inner conflicts. They are convinced they have to be perfect to be loved. They fear the truth, thinking it might expose their weakness before others. They end up defeated affectively for lack of honesty and sincerity. So, in my viewpoint, there is no relationship that could last longer without honesty and sincerity. Even between friends, not only between a couple, that's for any kind of relationship, even for a business partnership. You need honesty and sincerity between the involved, the people there, which is in this situation, right? So imagine the effort these people need to perform to keep supporting these lies. Totally immature. And sometimes they try to involve other people to contribute with that lie. A person very close to me start to dating another person, and he asked me to bring some gifts from an overseas trip that I've done. And he said, "Oh, don't tell that I asked you to give these, blah, blah, blah." Was like, I didn't need to give that gift to that person, which was very close to me. And he wanted to, the scenario was, he wanted myself to give a gift to that person who he was in love, he was dating, to show that I care about the relationship and I like that person and I'm giving a gift for her. So it's to contribute with his lies, to participate in that. And I said, no, I'll not do that. Do you want myself to give her a gift? I will bring this gift to you and you can give to her. But I will not be part of it. So that was my position. But sometimes you can identify things like that. And sometimes that person can become very stressed or very upset with yourself. But that relationship, anyway, broke after a few years. But, it's how it starts. You can imagine how it will end up. Love is something that you build with time. It's not something that you buy. Certain creatures state that they love, but then treat their beloved ones as private property because they don't trust themselves. They grow blind, thinking that they need to care and protect, when they are actually suffocating and manipulating, making living with them unbearable and wearisome. So some people just think they can act as owner of someone else. Some cultures, and I don't need to mention that, to nominate those, but some cultures assume that the man in a family unit is the owner of the whole family, and the man just give the commands for everyone, and the woman should submit herself for that man. But if you think of these principles that this philosophy just brings up about you being a spirit, an individual that needs to work on yourself in your own progress, you should be free from these at least. You should be free in any relationship because love is always freedom is if you are in a relationship between a parent and kid, between friends, between couples and parents. You can love that person, but you cannot be or feel that you are the owner of that person. To be jealous, So leave that person free, because that's a spirit trying to progress, doing their best in this life. And we or you should contribute with that. That's why we have relationships, to contribute with someone else's evolution. One of the saddest characteristics of people who say they know how to love is the submissive attitude of the ones who never say no, because they are convinced that being passive about everything will grant them care and esteem from the others. This kind of behavior leads people to always agree with anything at any moment, bringing them disregard and an unsatisfactory life. Hamed says that book. So these people don't want to confront others. They simply agree with everything. For them, everything is always good. But internally, they are building something really bad. And that is the objective here, is for us to understand what are we feeling. Is this love? Is this good? Because everything that is good is under love, right? So is this that is building inside myself, is this good? If so, that's in the right way. If it's something that is hurting ourselves, it's making ourselves upset or very, very, very down, then we should to rethink things we are doing. So this kind of people don't want others to be upset with themselves, but they become very upset themselves. And at a certain point, they may become upset with themselves and blame their own life for this. Like, I deserve this. And that could lead them to a very, very sad results, or could end up in very, very, sometimes unreversible means. So requiring from others what you still can't give is to disrespect their emotional, mental, and spiritual limitations. That is, their evolutionary age. We are spirits progressing. We have already the background that we have experienced through the past lives. Everyone is like that. If you don't respect limitations of a person, you are not respecting all this background, all this experience, this knowledge and the moral background that person has. Forcing parents, children, friends, and spouse to fill your internal emptiness with the love you don't give yourself because you forget about your own resources and possibilities is insensible. Hamed explains, you only get what you give. Therefore, it's up to you to manage your affective needs and do to others whatever you want them to do for you. You only get what you give. The love I have is the love I give, right? Then self-awareness. The journey of evolution is individual, as I said before, since we are individual beings. However, we are not alone in this path. Getting to know ourselves, we can develop the love inside us. So identify what is going on inside yourself. Identify those feelings, those sensations, and start developing, getting better. Hamed finishes saying, don't ask for love and affection. Just give them yourself without demanding gratitude or recognition. It's important that you follow Jesus' steps for abundant donation of love without asking it from people and keeping in mind you are responsible for your own feelings. Jesus is model. In Spiritism, we say that he is the model for us to follow. That's why we mention him here. And Hamed mentioned him. And about the ones around you, whoever they are, let them respond for themselves according to their free will and spiritual maturity. Anyone, let's respect everyone as they are and love everyone as they are. And try to love a bit more every day. That's what I had for tonight. Hope you had enjoyed. Thank you, and I see you next time. Thank you.